calculation. And you don't have to write down that whole definition. If you just write down the goal of science is to investigate the natural world, that's good enough. Yeah. Did I skip you? Does everyone have a study guide? Tommy, do you have one?
Yeah, I have one right here.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, I didn't put the whole thing. These aren't all that important. Okay. So science begins with something that is a process of gathering information. Science begins with an observation. An observation happens to be the first step in the scientific method. And after a scientist does his observations, then he gathers data. And we know, since we just did graphing, that the data is the stuff that we put in the table. And then after we have enough data in the table, then we can make a graph. So data comes from making observations. Now there's two different types of data. The first type is called quantitative. Now when you see the prefix quant, what does that remind you of?
4.
Quantity. So it kind of reminds you of a number, doesn't it?
Reminds me of quad.
So quantitative data has to do with numbers. And it's done by counting or measuring. So in number 9 of your packet, the bacteria that was measured over time, that was quantitative data because time is a number and the bacteria were counted. That's quantitative. Qualitative data involves descriptions and characteristics that you cannot measure. And we haven't had any examples of that yet, but we're going to do some scientific method problems that involve qualitative data. An example would be, if let's say I wanted to invent a new type of sunscreen, and I wanted to see if it worked better than the old sunscreen. And I put my new sunscreen on my left arm, and I put my old sunscreen on my right arm. Well, the only way to measure that would be qualitatively. I would have to describe, well, this arm was pinker than this arm, or this arm appeared to have more tan than this arm. So that's an example of qualitative. Okay, a possible answer to a scientific question is a hypothesis. And you've probably heard the word hypothesis before. Does this sound familiar? Did you do scientific method in junior high?
Yes.
Okay. So the scientific method is a series of steps used by scientists to solve a problem or answer a question. And these are the steps. And step 1 is observation. And step 2 is hypothesis. Step 3, you can just write the word experiment. Step 4 is record and analyze results. So that's basically where you collect your data. Step 5 is to conclusions. And step 6 is to publish. So if I were a real scientist, and I really did invent sunscreen, and I would test my sunscreen, and I would collect lots of data, and I would publish my results. And that means I would actually write about it, write a story about it, and publish it in a scientific journal. Okay. I'm gonna skip through this. So on the back of your paper, in an experiment, the factors that can be changed are called variables. So you know in math, your variables are your letters X and Y, A and B. And in science, the variables are things that can be changed. Change the temperature of our experiment, or the amount of light that we're giving the plants, or we can change the pH of the solution, and those are called variables. In a controlled experiment, you only change one variable at a time. For example, if I lined up all my plants and I wanted to see which plant would grow the tallest in different amounts of light, they would all have to have the same amount of water and the same amount of daylight and nighttime. You couldn't water them at different levels. You couldn't have them at different temperatures. You can only change one variable at a time. I'm going kind of fast because I do have this in classroom, and I'm going to let you finish it on your own. In every experiment, you have a control. And a control is something that stays the same. So in my sunscreen experiment, if I tested my sunscreen on one arm and my other sunscreen on another arm, I'd have to have a third arm that I would put nothing on, and that would be my control. Okay. I promised you I would let you work, so those of you that are not done with the graphing, so go back and work on that. If you're done with the graphing, you can finish, you're welcome to finish this presentation classroom. And we're going to do some scientific method stuff again tomorrow, but otherwise there's no homework if you're caught up.